one request to make something about a video about investing, so I'll just do it real quick before heading to work. So pretty much, there are a few terms I'll throw in here. So there's something called capital asset location. So generally speaking, like high capital asset ones are like our high cap markets are things like Walmart, Disney, Netflix, Amazon, Apple. Then there are medium ones, which are smaller chains of places like I would say place like Empire, which is I live in Canada, so I'm talking about Canadian stocks. So that's Sobeys, Safeway. Even things like Dollarama, which is Dollarama, which is actually a good stock to invest in. They're sort of a higher risk, but not like the craziest risk. And then there's small cap, which is really small companies, but have a very high risk. And a lot of those things right now that people are investing are things like places like Moderna and Pfizer, and that is beyond me. I will not go for that kind of risk. So there's also pretty much when you invest in the stock market, you gotta realize that you can either lose a lot of money or you can gain money. So you lose money based on like if company goes down. For example, say you invest in Walmart. Like if the company starts doing poorly, which it isn't, it never will really do poorly because it sells pretty much everything. Then you'll lose money in the stock. On top of that, what I recommend people invest in is something that gives yearly profit sharing, which is something called dividends. So places like, Walmart, they will give you dividends. So I personally invest in places like Costco, Walmart, Empire, which is Sobeys, Safeway, Dollarama, and then for foreign equity, I do US dollar, which is Dollar Tree. You can also invest in other foreign equities like BMWs, Sony. It's not really recommended to do foreign equities that are in developing countries like Mexico and India. Places like Mexico and India, like a lot of people do invest in China, stocks in China as well, but it's up to you. You should always have a little bit of foreign equity. Probably maybe like 10% of your portfolio should be foreign equity. So there's another thing called bonds, which is pretty much every time the government is borrowing money, they're actually borrowing money from bonds. So it's pretty much over a term, maybe like 10 years term. It all depends on how long the term is. The longer the term, the more rewards you'll get. The other thing to check. Sorry, I'm a little spacey. The other thing to check is also the interest rate. So when the interest rate declines, the higher your reward will be. So if the interest rate goes up, obviously the reward will go down. So bonds, generally speaking, have a lot of fixed income. So fixed income is guaranteed money that you're going to get back. So a person like me, 36 years old, would have about 35% fixed income max. Like I generally have a little bit less. Like I have about 20% fixed income. The rest more about 10% foreign equity, and the rest elsewhere. So the last thing that you can invest in is cash. So pretty much like GICs, where they're called GICs in Canada. I don't know what it's called in the United States. I'm sorry. So it's like kind of like pretty much investing in cash. You're investing in a bank. You're investing in a bank, and the interest rates only come to like 3.5% after like 10 years or something. So that's actually the worst place to invest unless you really The thing about cash is it depreciates in value as time goes on. I don't know. I don't know what life was like with my parents, but I remember when I was a kid, you could get a bottle of soda and a bag of chips for $1. Now, like $1 won't even get you a bottle of soda anywhere except for maybe Dollarama. But yeah, all the same. Yeah. So places that I do invest in, as I said, Costco, Walmart. Invest in sort of new and branching chains like A&W, Boston Pizza, things that are always coming up with new things. Dollarama, Dollar Tree is an American company. That's some of my foreign income. Things like TJX Corporations, that's Winners, Marshalls, HomeSense, IKEA. That's again foreign equity right there. But I invest in generally speaking, the safest things to invest in are places that are always going to thrive, like grocery stores and businesses. Like anytime there's a recession, you see that places like discount stores like Walmart, Costco, and Dollarama, they improve in value, and especially with this COVID, they did really go up. Um, so I do invest in oil, and right now, of course, Joe Biden's wants to ban fracking. He's canceled the Keystone Pipeline. Being Albertan, yeah, of course, I invested in oil, and that's taken a huge hit. And it will take a hit for as long as the talks are there, as long as Trudeau is in office, and we can't get that pipeline built. But yeah, that's just my problem right there. So pretty much just capping off, like, you want to have about like 35% fixed income, 10% foreign equity, and every paycheck you should probably take like say you make $800 in a paycheck, in a 2-week paycheck, take about $80 and invest that much money. Like, because as you get older, you're not gonna be able to work, and you just got to have that nest for yourself. Also, be prepared to keep that money in the not to touch that money for a long time. What I actually have is I have one investment which is like short term. So for short term, like, in case I go back to school or something, I will use that. So it's mostly just in mutual funds, which is just a selection of companies that a financial advisor will give you, and it's pretty stable. It doesn't really fluctuate much, and maybe goes 3% a year. And then I have one that's long term, the one that I'm not going to touch till I'm retired, which is one that gives me more gains, but also is a little more volatile. Then when it comes to RRSPs, like, I don't know what you guys call it in the States, I think you call it 401ks. So be very careful about them, because you get taxed when you put the money in, and as soon as you take the money out, you get taxed. So anyway, I hope this video is helpful. If you have any questions, please leave in the comments. Thank you very much for watching.